G'day guys, welcome to this weekly developer update. Here we are once again. Joe, how are you, mate?
Doing well. Looking forward to the micro summit that's coming up. Do we have the dates on that?
Yeah, 26th of November. So next Saturday, it should be out and about. It'd be good fun to be able to highlight the ErgoHack projects, but then also see a video from Alex and hopefully an intro and outro from yourself.
Yeah, I'll be happy to put that together. Been a crazy week, crazy time in crypto.
Yeah, we've seen sort of the ongoing fallout from FTX, a number of things coming to light from sort of the initial audits from the handover to the new CEO. And I just guess it kind of just reiterates and sort of drives home the fact of self-custody and open source and transparency and everything along those lines. I know it's not sort of that sexy subject that people sort of don't really want to address, but here we are once again, and I think it's a sort of pretty fruitful discussion to have to highlight all these sort of things again.
Yeah, I would say it's not always a good idea to not have custody of your coins. That's something everybody talks about, and it may just be why a lot of these exchanges will try to create incentives for people to not have custody of their coins, right?
Yeah.
There's certainly a bit of a honeypot going on at FTX with, returns and staking, and they were unfortunately using that to really drive money onto their exchange, and I guess, and through their trading company, and just a bunch of madness, right? Ideally, self-custody is the way to go.
Yeah. Just to explain how a wallet works as well, and I know it's one concept that sort of people don't actually sort of quite have their mind around in regards to how a crypto wallet works. It's not, you don't actually have your crypto in your wallet itself. It's just the private keys, and I think that's the most important part to reiterate. Going and having a self-custody wallet, it's not putting the coins into that wallet itself. It's just a reflection of the private key that you have for the access to those coins on the blockchain itself.
It's just a portal.
Yeah.
Portal to interact with the blockchain. And Ledger is something I'm still bothering Tesseract with. I believe they're in their final round of testing, but I won't be nice. Keep bothering them every day, and I'll keep bothering them every day until it comes out.
Yeah.
We also are in the process of getting a couple of quotes on a Trezor build. So once that's out, we'll see what they come in at and see if that makes sense for us at this time.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a sort of contentious issue with the community, but just regarding the time it's taken to sort of get all this sorted. But yeah, there's a number of things that have happened, and unfortunately, it's just the feet are getting dragged, and hopefully we get it sort of delivered at some stage shortly.
Yeah, I'm working every day. I'll bother them until it's done. That's my promise to the community, and I've already let them know I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to get you to finish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I'll keep bothering them.
Yep. Be great for the community. And on that note, let's jump into the dev update. So we'll kick things off with greenhat here and his team. So Jusek has finished a transition to spec type for token IDs to distinguish them. So, e.g., the Oracle reward pools and NFTs, etc., on the type of system level. On greenhat's progress himself, he was still a bit limited this week because of a nasty cold. So, I hope you're better soon, mate. So, finished the box register value access to allow passing of the box with invalid register value. So that's for Rosen bridge. Wrote a description for prepare, vote, update, and update commands. Fixed almost a dozen bugs during the testing of the voting and updating for the contracts of running the Oracle pool. And then next, finished testing of voting and updating the running Oracle pool, and consider altering the ballot update contracts to simplify the process. And then after that, V2 2.0 alpha milestone will be completed and be starting the next stage. So V 2.0 beta open testing on the testnet. And as always, you can track progress on the following link.
Awesome.
And next up, we have Anon BR.
All right. So what's Anon BR up to? Working with Morphic on SigmaJS. Looks like there's a lot of ongoing discussions about potential EIPs and some library design decisions. Looks like he's also merged the Babel fees EIP. And I believe there's an alpha build that has been released on Nautilus. So that's something that we'll continue to see some development on. Great to see.
Yep, awesome. Next up, we have MrStahlfelge. So his work last week, the wallet app 2.2.2220 with address book rolling out. So there's a word on the versioning. The build number is year plus incrementing number. So this was the 20th release this year. So thank you very much for that update. Hope we get away from the twos soon. Appkit. So the Babel fee implementation is now complete. Integrated this on TokenJ. There's an app to provide the Babel fee liquidity. Discussions ongoing around EIP 40. Preparations for the Cardano Summit. So he'll be doing a talk this week. So he's on a panel to present development on Ergo in Wiesbaden in Germany. I probably butchered that. Sorry, mate. So for anyone interested.
Yeah, I hear that there's actually going to be quite a nice turnout.
Yeah, a number of people will be watching that presentation, and I think it's recorded. So might have to work on some translations.
All right.
Next up, we have Louis.
All right. So it looks like Louis has been playing the Blobinator in Blobs Topia, and looks like nothing has been done thanks to hailypdll's new game. And those of you that are out there that haven't tried it, you should give it a shot if you're up for it. Pretty fun. Maybe you can kill Luivatra enough, get him back to work. Looks like he's been implementing the voting functionality for basic proposals. The final item on the list of functioning POC of the contracts is the actions that proposals refer to. For now, keeping it simple with changing the config of the DAO and sending funds from Treasury. Started writing an open API spec for the API intended to link the off-chain code and contracts with the rest of the 2.0 side of Paideia.
Nice to see, as always. Next up, we have Morphic. So he continued on sigma.js and related Sigma code base reorganization and refactoring. So on the Sigma side, published the first sigma.js, which allows construct, serialize, and deserialize arbitrary data values, which is supported by ErgoScript. Investigated sigma.js module splitting feature. So that's to separate or generate and separate JS modules. Released Sigma version 5.0.2. Investigated source of big costs of contracts with AVL tree operations. The next Sigma PR is waiting for Alex's review. Then on to Appkit. So released version 5.0.0. So thanks to MrStahlfelge for so many PRs. Fixed tests after the 5.0 migration. Reviewed the Appkit PRs by MrStahlfelge, 203 and 204. And then miscellaneous, just ongoing discussions in Discord. And next up, export more features to sigma.js. And next we have Captain Nemo.
All right. Looks like on the Nautilus side, Nemo has finished the Babel fees implementation. Beta version is out and is receiving good feedback from users. Also fixed an issue on the transaction broadcasting fallback mechanism. With Fleet, looks like Nemo has removed the node's buffer dependency, which allows for better compatibility with browser environments.
Saw a nice video actually posted on Twitter utilizing Fleet to basically build a transaction. I think it was 2 minutes or so utilizing Fleet.
It's pretty impressive.
Nice to see. Next up, we have Louis' Nemesis, hailypdll, and Blobs Topia. So, as we know, Blobs has gone live this week. So it's just following how the fights are going and made several UI fixes and improvements. Since Sunday, they have 24 blobs, 90 fights were ran, global amount of 20.8 ergs, and the Blobinator won its first 30 fights. It's strong. If too much, I'll nerf it. So anyone out there, jump on and try and defeat the Blobinator. It's funny actually following discussions and seeing how involved and engaged people are jumping in and having some fun with this. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's needed to blow off a little steam with a lot of the madness that's been going on in this space.
Yeah, very well said. So next up, we have Kushti.
All right, so in the node and protocol development, looks like the new reference client 5.0.3 was released, and he's currently in the process of digging through some PRs for 5.0.4. Looks like he's adding 3 potential pull requests for 5.04 that he's in the process of digging through. On other matters, we've been working to inform pools and mining communities about the upcoming 5.0 activation. There's a forum post that's out about the 5.0 activation details. He's updated the decentralized grid contracts. He's got the off-chain part working and will open source it eventually. It means that it's working, but it's not refined. Looks like there's some updates to the Dexy white paper. He read EIP 40, but it got closed before he had the chance to leave a review there.
I believe EIP 40 was something the Spectrum guys were looking into, but after a little bit of research, they found or decided to go a different route. And next up, we have MHS, being busy as always. So on Rosen, private tests are going well. Found some bugs and fixed some optimizations. So the watches and garters are now more stable and crash resistant. So about 50% optimizations on required resources. So it's a nice improvement there. Currently, they're using Poius. Probably butchered that one for Cardano. So the Cardano node support's under test. Private tests will take 2 or 3 weeks, and then later they'll start the public test. The design of the cold storage for the bridge is almost done and under review. So using cold storage feature, the bridge's hot wallet will hold a limited amount of funds, making it less attractive for attackers. It's a nice option. One remaining repo, the threshold signature repo, will be made public in the following days. Some pending PRs and reviews. Also, other repos will be updated with the latest modifications. And then on to Minotaur wallet. The multi-sig wallet has been added with the latest release. Docs about the multi-sig implementation can be found on the link. So it's based on EIP 11 with some minor modifications in how to represent and transfer data. So the doc will be updated as an EIP for multi-sig wallets. There's a better UI in the next releases. The Minotaur has implemented BIP 32. However, other Ergo wallets are using EIP 003. So that resulted in incompatibility between Minotaur and other wallets. So in the next release, they'll support EIP 003 also for compatibility. The main difference is how to export the extended public keys to be used in cold, read-only, and multi-sig wallets. And next up, we have the ErgoRaffle. So it's needed some contracts for the Raffle 2s under test and review. Off-chain services are not fully implemented yet. Hopefully they'll see Raffle 2 in a couple of months and details later, but more about the token support, NFT support, and multiple winners. But got through that one.
Yeah, that was a heavy. It's good to see, though.
Yeah, definitely. Lots going on. Next up, we have ErgoGraphql.
All right, so Zephyr looks like has optimized token filters logic to access the database in a more efficient way. And it looks like he's also working on Comet-DAO. Started the project structure of the backend project with Express and Mongo as the database, and designed smart contracts and required registers tokens for testing. Looks like nothing is public yet.
Is that Comet doing something again?
Comet is trying to do something again. Whatever happened to their wallet?
Oh, that's a good update. We'll have to reach out and find out what's going on, and we can provide an update. Hopefully, they keep it updated with the amount of releases that we see with Nautilus.
Yeah, let's see.
Where are we? Next up, we have...
Oh, it looks like Alex has said that they're going to start the gold price Oracle test on testnet.
Yeah, just read that one. So obviously that's required for Dexy. Where are we? Next up, we have scalahub. So it's been testing the LP contract for Dexy. Found fixed a bug in the swap logic, which is probably good timing for the release of the Gold Oracle and Dexy itself. And next we have anetaBTC.
All right, so it looks like Willie's dropping an update. It's continuing to develop the on-chain SPV verification and relaying smart contract development needed for interlay style wrapping on Ergo. Integrated the Fleet SDK for Ergo bridge payments and applications. Finished integrating the V1 backend with front end and completed first round of tests wrapping TE-BTC. Fixed minor bugs with Nautilus wallet transaction, including no more multiple transaction windows and catching null transactions. Private testnet will begin in a few days. Following that, they'll release public testnet. Awesome.
Yep. Just a couple of comments here from greenhat in regards to Alex's comments about the Gold Oracle. Basically just saying a couple of things need to be updated and tested once again. Just in regards to all that, sort of elaborates on the update that he provided earlier. And next we have Quokka. Good to see the Skyharbor provide another update. It's been a little time in between, so it's nice to have these guys back. So it looks like they've hired a new backend developer. So Supreme Dacos, something along those lines, revamped and optimized the backend to be able to implement the new APIs easier. There's now a shopping cart feature, which is almost complete, which allows people to add NFTs to the cart and check out all items at once. It's a nice little addition. Progress on ErgoPay implementation for mobile users is underway. Skyharbor platform documentation is finalized. So that includes API calls, parameters, boilerplate template for projects to get listed for listing NFTs on Skyharbor. And the smart contracts will go open source once all of that is released in a week or so. Nice to see. And next we have Wilford.
That's nice to see Wilford dropping in. Looks like he helped QX test SigmaVote. Looks like he helped me with SigmaChat apps user registration. For the time being, SigmaChat app will be hosted by Nagila, a Swedish hosting company, allowing the Matrix home server to inherit Sweden's strong privacy laws. Trying to find a way to relay email through a different port, as SMT out is closed with this host. Research continues on decentralized hosting solutions, but for the time being, a central host will suffice. Also looking into implementing ErgoAuth as an alternative solution to email for user registration for the Matrix home server. During my research, I reread some of Airweave's white paper. Their calculations for data costs or data storage costs could be used for improving Ergo storage rent in the future. Also tried several different distro and wallet combinations on PinePhone. It can serve as a great cold wallet, as there are some hardware switches to turn off all radios. So I know Wilford is getting pretty serious about looking into decentralized hosting. So I know one of his paths he's looking into is going to be Urbit. There's a couple other out there.
Yep.
See what he comes back with.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. Okay, next we have Kras with the Duckpools update. So it looks like they've completed testing on loan liquidations. So successfully liquidated numerous loans in a single block through the Spectrum DEX. Added support for the SIG RSV as collateral on the Ergo-Pool. Fixes have been made to the off-chain bot to increase robustness in the face of malformed transactions, bad API calls, etc. Stood up another server to host another off-chain bot in preparation for the beta launch on November 20. So by the time this video is released, we could see Duckpools operational.
That's awesome.
Also, feel free to check us out on GitHub. Nice to see the open source there. So documentation's a little messy at the moment, so feel free to DM for any clarification. The off-chain bot will also be published in the near future to allow the public to run their own instances to process Duckpools transactions. Awesome.
Yeah, it's great to see Kras doing that.
Very busy man throughout the ecosystem. And next we have Ilya from Spectrum.
All right, so on the Spectrum network itself, it looks like the protocol negotiation flow has been fixed and tested. Known peers exchange has been implemented. Different punishment mechanism for misbehaving peers been put together. In terms of Spectrum finance and the core, improving the stability of fault tolerance of their API. Looks like that's a work in progress. The SPF token, the API v2 airdrop and payout faucet, work in progress. We will no longer publish the airdrop calculator. Instead, we will launch a service with which it will be possible to view the reward and request it directly from the interface after the token launch. Yield farming. It looks like the contracts, front end, and design are ready. Finalizing the SDK, start testing in early December and release at the end of 2022. Write in the comments if you want to see the layout of the yield farming UI. On the back end and front end, remove the global settings modal, light theme tooltip fixes. Looks like they squashed a couple of bugs. They fixed the Cardano add liquidity page loading issue, fixed the Cardano remove liquidity page loading issue, fixed Cardano insufficient funds validations.
Another substantial update. And next up, we have Cheese Enthusiast. So the big cheese. So it's mostly been taking a break since the hackathon. I've been focusing on other work, some research into new ideas and designs, but not much programming. On the subpooling side, they're doing evaluation of 5.0 changes on current contracts. So most are very efficient, though we'll be making changes to one. So that's a tree update contract. And then looking at some API upgrades. And onto the layer 2 with SNIS paper done, have started looking at other pool collateralization aspects again. So hope to have some preliminary contracts done in the coming weeks. Awesome to see. And next we have Keith from Excel.
All right, so it looks like the Excel backend, some live testing API fix for funding and repayment, test modify loan, live test, refund the proxy contract fix, redesign the crowd fund for token redemption, implementing a cancel loan transaction, modification of loan box so that users can't change funding details, implementation of cancel loan feature, cancel feature tests, and cancel feature live tests. Looks like the front end is a work in progress.
Yep. Good to see everything happening back on that front. Bulb's been pretty busy. No major updates, just continuing testing some bug fixes in the Ergo names system before a beta on testnet. Reckless is going to a conference in Toronto this weekend, so once again also not doing too much. However, started doing some research on how Tor can be implemented in the Ergo node. So some of that will benefit IPv6 as well. So we'll do a forum post. Look forward to that. And next we have Network Spore.
All right, so it looks like Network Spore spent most of the week focused on file handling. However, user interface components have probably chewed up the bulk of the time. Looks like he's always seemed to need a different style of list or menu, and then ends up building it. Probably his favorite code from this week resides in using web workers to recursively load files from a directory, then calculating their CRC. Then he goes on to code that makes him smile. Looks like all I know is that this seems to work. How far it works is another question for another time. In the same file folder, I'm also using a pretty killer image resampler to cache image thumbnails, which is this line of code. Sometimes a person just has to be happy that there are people smarter than them.
Yep, that's the beauty of open source as well, I guess. Having open source code, take advantage of it. The comment straight after that with MGPy. Didn't even know you could do that with JavaScript. And low-key nerd and Blitz TCG. So they rebuilt the deck builder with a better foundation to allow more interactions and fancier things. This weekend's their goal to officially integrate with the Ergo blockchain via the game client and Firebase to show users cards that they own, which is fantastic. And as you can see here, we've got a beautiful little sort of demonstration. And that's it for this weekly developer update.
Nice to see.
Another substantial developer update. Once again, it's my favorite time to be able to jump in and see what people are delivering, and a couple of nice little comments in there. I like Louis' one around Blobs Topia. It's good to see people jumping in there and having some fun in the ecosystem.
You know, it's been a crazy couple weeks in the crypto industry. You know, and I'm glad to see that everyone's got, you know, what they're working on is more important, right?
Yeah.
The reality is, you know, all of that macro stuff, there's nothing we could have done about, and we had no exposure to it anyway. So all that noise out there, hopefully it doesn't, you know, interfere with what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, that's one thing I was just going to mention as well is, despite all the noise, we've had nice delivery of a number of things, like say Babel fees, Rosen going live on like a private soft launch testing process, numerous other things throughout the ecosystem sort of coming to light. Duckpools is coming soon. We're going to see night out shortly. Fantastic development in the ecosystem. It just goes to show how strong a community and ecosystem we have here at Ergo.
Yeah, I'm proud to be a part of this community. I think having open source principles and developer mindshare is going to pay dividends over time.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, Joe, been a pleasure once again delivering this weekly developer update, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
A good one.
Take care.